Brothers and sisters, we are entering the offertory rites that are often overlooked, but are one of the more important and symbolically rich parts of the Mass. So this is a video you're not going to want to miss. First, the offerings themselves, simple bread and simple wine. Archaeologists in 2018 discovered burnt breadcrumbs in a cooking hearth from 12,000 BC. It was a shocking revelation because it was 5,000 years earlier than the previous oldest evidence of bread, moving the invention of bread to at least 2,000 years before the cultivation of grains themselves, which started around 10,000 BC. This makes bread the earliest known recipe, a dish made by mixing and cooking several things together. It's also fairly likely that the collection of grains for making bread caused some grains to fall to the ground, meaning that the area where the grains were processed would grow more grains in the future. This may be what showed our ancient ancestors that if you scatter seeds on the ground, you can cultivate plants. The beginning of agriculture, which in turn was the beginning of civilization, because it gave humans a more stable food source, and we could finally settle down and start expanding our knowledge. We will never know if this is precisely what happened, but God would know if that was the case. And knowing that bread was the catalyst for human civilization, chooses bread to be the catalyst for his new kingdom. Plus, bread and wine are both early recipes, ubiquitous across the planet, and simple foods. So God chose them to be the sacrificial offerings for his Eucharistic feast. As simple recipes, the offerings require human input. We aren't really capable of doing anything for God. We can't properly thank him, but we can participate in the offering by doing what he commanded us to do. Do this in remembrance of me. We can't create anything. We are not capable of interacting with God on his level, but God did give us a way we can participate by taking the gifts that he has given us, wheat and grapes, and processing them through our work into bread and wine, to be given back to him. Jesus then offers himself up for us and returns that bread and wine to us, but changed into his body and blood, allowing us to commune with him. In the ancient church, the people would bake the bread and make the wine themselves, bringing their gifts to be offered up to God so that they may participate in the sacrifice. During the Middle Ages, this shifted to the monasteries and convents making the bread and wine, as it allowed for better quality control. But the people would still bring an offering to the church to help pay for the offerings and any other costs associated with the mission of the church. At that time, most people brought whatever they produced in their daily life: livestock, candles, honey, any other produce, and other things, as money was less common than bartering was. Today, money takes the place of these gifts. This is why we traditionally take up the collection during the offertory, a tradition we are planning on bringing back soon. Because giving money in the collection is important for a few reasons. It is part of God's requirement to us to give at least our best 10% back to him. It makes us more generous. It helps to make us more aware of our dependence on God, but most importantly, it is a recognition that we are thankful to God and are participating members in this Thanksgiving feast. From the earliest days of the church, the names of those who contributed the bread and wine were acknowledged. Although the Mass is offered for many people and things, it was recognized that those who donated bread and wine could offer that donation for a loved one. This led to the tradition of offering a Mass for a particular petition. So you can go to the parish office and arrange a Mass to be said for a loved one, making a small donation as your way of participating in that offering of bread and wine. That is why here at St. Matthew, we try to have the people who requested the Mass intention bring up the offerings of bread and wine. Often they are remembering a deceased loved one, usually around a birthday or near the anniversary of their death. So please pray for them in their pain. They bring the offerings up to the foot of the altar, where they are met by the priest. I personally choose to give them a blessing, but this is not technically a part of the rite, so don't be surprised if other priests don't do this. Bringing these offerings back to the altar, we then must acknowledge them and liturgically offer them up to God, which we will cover next week. God bless.